Hi everybody, I am Kai Shanti of Angel of Light Meditation, channeling God's love. So I started doing this channeling about 23 years ago when my Kundalini was awakened. So the channeling really is an expression of God's love, of God's grace, of this Kundalini energy that's been coming through me for the past 23 years, the Divine Mother's grace. And today we're going to let this energy come through. And what we're going to be speaking of today is channeling and God's grace. And what is this distinction between channeling and God's grace? Is there a distinction? Is it the same thing? What is this energy that runs through us? That is the Kundalini energy, that is the awakening energy, that is the channeling of God's grace and of God's love, because we see that the energy is the same. Stick around till the end. We'll do a little awakening, a big awakening, grace, love, peace, truth coming through us to awaken the divine energy in all beings so that all beings are free. So what is channeling? What is channeling? What is channeling? What is channeling? So we found that there's a lot of misperception around the word channeling, because channeling God's grace is the love of divinity. It's the love of truth. It's the love of peace. It's the love of all things free. When we channel the grace within us, when we channel that energy, that Kundalini energy, that awakening energy within us, it's the freedom of our own truth. It's the freedom of our own grace. It's the freedom of our own peace. So it's not channeling something outside of us. It's not channeling a different entity, right? It's not channeling something that's not our own divine being. It's just allowing this grace that is already within us, this peace, this truth, this divinity that's already within us. We're allowing this grace, this truth, this peace to come through us as us in all things free. It's who we are already. It's not separate from us. So we've been fed this big distinction, right, about channeling and New Age practices and God. There's no distinction, right? There's no distinction. We are God's grace. We are God's love. We are God's peace. We are God's truth, and we are God's divinity. And the words channeling and all of the things related to channeling, well, if we tune into our own beingness, if we tune into our own truth, if we tune into our own divinity, and we allow that to be what we see and what we feel and what we experience, we can see that as channeling, because we are the channel of God's grace. We are the channel of God's divinity. We are the channel of God's truth. This channel comes right through us, right? It comes right through us. So many people are experiencing this awakening right now of the Kundalini energy, of the divine energy, of the God's grace energy. And where is that coming from? It's this divine channel within us, isn't it? It's awakening through the divine channel within us. There's no mistaking that it's the same word, channel. The divine channel of grace is awakening within us, and we're channeling that energy into the world. We're channeling that energy into our own divinity. We're channeling that energy into our own peace. Let's not make distinctions about who is this and who's that and who's doing this and who's doing that. There are no distinctions. So distinctions create fear and misunderstanding, don't they? Right? I'm fearful because I'm doing something against God's grace, or I'm fearful because I'm doing something against the love of God and against the love of divinity. I'm doing something that's different from what I've been taught in the religious world, in the Christian world. It's not true. The divinity within us is the truth of all things, whatever religion we're talking about. The divinity within us is the truth of all things. Jesus taught the divinity within you is the truth of all things. Look within. Look within for the divinity within you. So it's time for us to receive this divinity. It's time for us to receive this grace. It's time for us to know this grace within our being as the truth of all things, and allow this grace to come through us, through our divine channel of light and love and grace and truth and peace, right? And as this energy comes through us, awakens within this divine channel within our being, we're channeling God's love, we're channeling God's grace, and we're channeling God's truth, and we're channeling God's peace. Feel it. Tune into your own divinity. Tune into your own truth. Tune into your own piece of knowledge. You have all of the knowledge that you need to know the truth of your own being. Awaken yourself from the fear concepts that have been laid before us. Awaken yourself from all of that fear, all of that negativity that says this is wrong or that is wrong, right? It's not wrong. This channeling of God's grace is who we truly are. You can call it the Kundalini, you can call it the divine awakening, you can call it the ascension. It's that energy coming through us as the divine energy that we are already. It's who we are, it's why we are, it's where we are, it's how we are. This is the Christ energy. The Christ energy of God's grace flows through us as the divine essence of who we truly are, right? Kundalini, kind Kundalini energy. We allow it to come through us. We allow it to be within us, right? We feel it, we feel it, we feel it, we feel it, we feel it. This is the energy of grace coming through us now. This is the energy of grace being received within us now. This is the energy of grace that we are awakening to right now. So why have we come to this earth plane? Why have we come to this earth plane? Why have we come to this space now? Why have we come to this space now? Recognize within yourself why you're here, what you're doing. Recognize within yourself what is the essence of your true being. Recognize it, and feel it, and see it, and experience it, and awaken it now. Awaken it now. So feel the divine grace within you awakening, receiving yourself into it. Feel the divine grace awakening within you, receiving that grace within you, receiving that grace within you, receiving that grace within you. Move aside all fear, right? And allow yourself to be exposed to the divine grace of your true beingness now. This is your true beingness. This is your true essence. This is your true divinity. Allow yourself to feel the awakening of God's grace within you now. Allow yourself to feel the energy of God's grace awakening within you now. Allow yourself to feel the energy of God's grace awakening within you now. Allow yourself to, the energy of God's grace awakening within you. Now you are the channel of God's love. You are the channel of God's grace. You are the channel of that Kundalini energy that is moving through you now. Feel it awakening within 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 you now. We are that grace of God's energy, of God's truth, of God's peace, of God's divinity. Allow it to awaken within you now. Allow it to awaken within you now. There it is. Feel that energy of grace awakening within you now. Feel that energy of grace awakening within you now. Feel that energy of grace awakening within you now. This is why we're here. This is what we're doing on this earth plane. We're allowing that energy of grace to be the divine essence of all things within our being now, allowing it to awaken, allowing it to awaken. There it is, allowing it to awaken, allowing it to awaken. Very good, allowing it to awaken. The rising of the Kundalini energy is awakening within our being. Now, this is the same Christ energy. This is the same Christ energy talked about in Christian religion. This is the same energy of divinity that comes through in all religions, right? Everywhere. Everything is opening to this energy now. Allow it to awaken and expand within your being now. The channeling, there we go, of this energy is awakening within us now. Wow, opening and awakening alive within our being. There we go, channeling God's grace. Channeling God's grace, channeling God's grace, channeling God's grace is the awakening of this energy within our being. Channeling God's grace is the awakening of this energy within our being. Channeling God's grace is the awakening of this energy within our being. Feel it, experience it, know it, and become it now. Feel it, experience it, know it, and become it now. Feel it, experience it, know it. There you go. And become it now. Channeling God's grace within our own being, channeling God's grace within our own being, channeling the energy of the Kundalini, of Christ consciousness. It's all within us now. It's coming through us, in us, around us, above us, below us. It is the energy of consciousness. It is the energy of grace. It is the energy of truth. Feel it, feel it, feel it. It is your truth. It is your truth. It is your divinity. It is your peace. It is your love. There you go. It's perfect. It's divine. We are free in this energy of grace. We are free in this energy of grace. Feel it. Feel it. We are free in this energy of grace. Feel it. Become it. Be it. We know it within our being. Yes, we do. Hara Masyata. Wonderful. So feel the energy. Allow the energy to rise within you. Allow the energy to be within you. Allow the energy to know you as you. Because you are that divine consciousness. You are that divine truth. And you are that divine energy. There we go. Shavakonomasata. Am ar eto tochitan arutakaliyamoto. Ishtavakonomoso or horu konomate. Ishava shiva 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 shiva. Karamasiato kurushava konomoto shiva 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 konomote. Okay, very good. I want you to answer a couple questions for me. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're experiencing. Tell me what's awakening within you. Explore the essence within you. Explore the truth within you. Explore that divinity that's happening within you right now. And tell me what's happening within you. Tell me what's happening within you. Explore that energy within you and allow me to see you as the divinity and the truth of all things. So write a comment below. Tell us what's happening within you. Tell us what you're experiencing. Tell us what you're feeling. Tell us what you're awakening to in this moment of peace. Tell us what you're experiencing in the world around you. Tell us how all of this energy is coming through you as the divine grace, as the divine essence, as the divine truth of all things. There we go. Matakianaka. Shavakaramasi. Ishtavakunu an ala 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 komate. Nushu ishai am oto. If you have questions, allow us to access those questions for you, within you, as you. Shavakurumata retekema. Shavakuruna will answer any questions you have in this process of awakening. We will answer any questions that you have in this process of awakening. Borokurutan hariyatakara shavakuru. Sha'an ali ara ashto mara siaraka neke miharoko masa mihara. Miharoko.
Love is all you ever need.